Praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful electors fighting a good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwa, which is the women believers. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Now, as you see, USA is the biggest bully in the world. Video from last year, very edifying though, backs up the scriptures. But I want to bring another perspective, because everybody that Babylon the Great, also known as America, have bullied, they're going to get their payback. So that's really where this video is going to center around. So I'm going to allow him to talk. If he make a point that I can get a scripture, then I'm going to get a scripture to back it up. So
America is showing itself to be the hypocrite of all hypocrites here. America is the country that is telling the world that it supports free trade and competition and free enterprise, and yet it is the single biggest block to free competition and free enterprise that exists on the earth. America has all of these countries under sanctions because it wants to use economics to dictate politics to other countries. It also wants to dictate culture and ethnic relations between nations which have been friends among themselves and lived and coexisted in peace for generations and centuries and even millennia, until America came and set them at each other's throats.
So, he said a mouthful, but I want to get this though, because it's just Esau being Esau. He conquered everybody through the sword, and everybody is dibbling dabbling with his fornication, which is that dollar. And also, when he goes over to these countries, he makes them take on his political democracy. And if you don't play the game, he sanctions you. But he's able to do that because of the sword. So it says, and Esau said to his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, "Behold, your dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by your sword shall you live, and you shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you shall have dominion, that you shall break his yoke from off your neck." So verse 40, you shall live by the sword. And there's only one nation that's doing that. So for anybody who don't understand who the Edomites are, you just don't know prophecy and you bugged out. You keep trying to put, Esau as other nations. But and when it said that you will begin to break off the yoke, from your brother, that happened in the time of King Solomon. Because when King David was a king, he had the nations in subjection. But through Solomon's fall, Esau, Edom was able to wiggle around. And yeah. So also, it said, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." So yes, when he go to these countries, they have to take on his way, which is Americanization way. Do you know that majority of these countries celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas? So his like the Americanization is real. His philosophy, which is his ways of life, his education, they have to learn English. All right. They have to use the dollar, and they have to take on his political techniques. So this would make him proud. It's just the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. That would definitely make you proud. You just a man, a base man at that. But the Lord have given you the whole earth. That would make you proud, right? "Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as death cannot be satisfied." So everywhere that he go, death and hell follow. And it says, "But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." Now, one way he's going to do that is when he crashed the dollar and bring everybody into a digital system. But also Babylon the Great, as you see right now, the borders is open. Everybody and their mama is over here. He's really bringing people over here. All right. They can actually stop it, but they don't want to stop it. They about to make America implode on itself because the way that he works is order out of chaos. He also said something else. Let's go back real quick.
These countries under sanctions because it wants to use economics to dictate politics to other countries. It also wants to dictate culture and ethnic relations between nations which have been friends among themselves and lived and coexisted in peace for generations and centuries and even millennia until America came and set them at each other's throats.
So this dude, it's saying, whereas you saw us defeat, because like everybody is divided, all right? According to prophecy, his own allies is going to turn on him. So it says, and whereas you saw us defeat and toes part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. There should be in it of the strength of the iron, which is the military. For as much as you saw us the iron mixed with miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly divided, partly broken. So, he caused all these nations to, fight, to second guess themselves, all because this is what this devil do. He pinned people against each other because he's all about divide and conquer. But he didn't, as the scripture says, he didn't consider his last end. So now he's actually divided because Russia is Edomites. America, Edomites. The European Union, Edomites. They're all divided. See, so he calls divide and conquer with everybody else, but he never thought that he was going to be divided. And he actually wants the division because, going back to the point of he didn't consider his later end in Isaiah 47:7, the Lord have hardened his heart. So he actually believed that his plans is going to come to pass because he wrote in a book, Albert Pike, the 3 world wars, and the 3rd World War was dealing with, Christian and Muslims destroying each other. And then after they destroy each other, building a new world. But he don't understand that World War III is the end of you and these heathen nations, and our kingdom gonna come. So it says, and whereas you saw us iron mixed with the miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Now remember, he said that he tried to conquer people by his economics too, right? The nations is mad because what they realize is like, okay, it was good at one point in time, especially after World War II. The Marshall Plan, they sent about $13 billion over there to Western Europe to build up its infrastructure, which now you became a permanent vassal to America. And now, it was it been peace for the most part, all the way up until now. You had little skirmishes here and there, but not no world war type stuff. So then, the dollar became the global currency. The Bretton Woods Conference, and 1971 Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and guess what? The nations was okay with it because it was easier to carry paper money instead of carrying heavy ass gold everywhere. But then what happened in 71 is that countries like, wait a minute, we want our gold back. And then boom, ain't no gold. They stole it. But the point is that, so it was good. And then you created this currency. You could just print it unlimited, So yeah, everybody living good as it go to Revelation 18. Talks about the merchants made, they would live deliciously off of Babylon the Great. But they mad now. It said, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. The many waters represents peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. Everybody's over here in Babylon the Great. And it said, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, that dollar. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Because if you don't play the game of America, you get sanctioned. And since even though the dollar is deteriorating right now, it's losing value, until it lose value, you got to use this, paper money. And when they say that you can't use it, that mess up your whole infrastructure. That mess up your whole country. So if you don't play the game, this is, matter of fact, the scripture said that the nations are mad. They starting to realize that they got the shitty end of the stick. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So, yeah, the Americanization. That's what they drunk of. The political techniques, the dollar. All right. The nations just realize, like, damn, why you think everybody trying to join the BRICS right now?
America has inherited the English curse of divide and conquer in the interests of their empire. And the world is now smartening up to this.
See? Because, matter of fact, let's get that. It said, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite you, and awake that shall vex you, and you shall be a booties unto them? So right now, nations are pointing out America's crimes, oppression, injustice. All these nations speaking out, So right now, everybody got their eye on Esau, Edom, and telling them about how, a piece of shit that they are. But here's the point. Because you have spoiled many nations through that wine, all right? Through the sanctions, through your military. Look, you got 800 military bases in 150 countries. It's only 195 countries. So that means that it's 75%. You and 75% of all the earth ruling out of it. Because when you have a U.S. base there, you are in control. You telling them what they can do and what they cannot do. So it says, because you have spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people should spoil you, because of men's blood, for the violence of the land and of the city and all that dwell therein. So yes, World War III is going to be over in our land, and you're going to lose bad.
We cannot be allowed to be forced to fight among ourselves. I was here in Serbia during the crippling sanctions that America used to try and crush Serbia. They had no effect. The people banded together. I was in Japan when America was sanctioning Japan, and I was advising the Prime Minister's office. They did not cow Japan. Japan continued to produce. I have been...
So yeah, and this is his allies, Canada, Japan, which made me... all the men of your confederacy, which is your, alliance, have brought you even to the border, World War III. The men that were at peace with you have deceived you and prevailed against you, because you don't understand that day is going to turn on you at the end. They that eat your bread have laid a wound under you. There is no understanding in him. So yeah, when these things happen, he's going to be shocked, because the Lord really hardened his devil's heart to the point that he actually think that he's in control. A man's goings is of the Lord. All right. He give his heart to every generation. But you're going to find out the hard way.
In Canada, when American interests imposed sanctions on our wood industry, America is the global bully. And as the nations of the world wake up to this fact, the bully, when it's outnumbered by all countries in the earth, will fail and fall. And this is...
See? And that's scripture. Matter of fact, let's get this one real quick. Classic one. It said, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all you heathen, and gather yourself together round about thither, cause your mighty ones to come down on Yahweh. So the weak is saying that I'm strong. And, you know, when you really think about it, all these countries is way more people. Like the BRICS itself is like 3 billion. Just with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right. That's 3 billion people right there. So you got all these other nations that's trying to, you know, get an invitation into BRICS. So everybody, the Lord, like he's causing that division. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. Matthew 12:25. So no, what is that? I think I'm thinking of Mark 3:24. I want to say. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, it cannot stand. But it's in Matthew too. I just can't think about where it is right now. But yeah, so that's what's happening right now.
This is how empires fall. This is the fall of America. They, by sanctioning the world, are sanctioning themselves.
And they continue to keep on doing these things. They just forwarding their destruction. For lo, I will cause up to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, that's dealing with Russia, and with their allies, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. Now, all these sanctions, all the unfairness, because you got, all right, so let's deal with this real quick. The Nord Stream 1. We all know who did that. That's a very sensitive topic, so I ain't going to say. But Babylon, put it that way. So that caused a financial strain on the European Union because Russia is the gas station of the Western Europe. That pipeline goes to Germany, and then from Germany it's spread out to the rest of Europe. But now you destroy that because you want your allies to continue to be dependent on you. So now they have to get, gas from you, and you charging them 4 or 5 times more than what they were getting. And now everybody's looking at it like this. All right, this nigga got to go. Everybody got that evil eye towards you. So I'm going to end it on this. And it says, in the 10 horns which you have saw. As a matter of fact, I'm going to finish it out on this. In the 10 horns which you saw is upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So this is your allies right here. This is your European Union, the NATO and the EU. For the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will. That's why I always say you don't have to get deep. Only reason why this stuff is happening because it's prophecy. Now you can name some details of why this is happening, but the overall conclusion of the matter is prophecy. So it says, for the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. See, now the word of the Lord is being fulfilled, and everybody's disassembling themselves, because it was at one point in time, look, it said, give their kingdom unto the beast. So everybody gave their mind and their strength unto the beast until the word be fulfilled. Now everybody disassembling, the Lord about to have them shoot fire on her. And the woman which you saw is the great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And we know that's America. Okay. So yeah, man. Prophecy come to pass. USA is the biggest bully, but guess what? You have been made small among the heathen. Obadiah 1 and 2. So you will be destroyed. And hey, we almost out of here. Shalom.